Vision at Anchor is to reach those who don't know Jesus. Like, we want to actually do that as a church. It's a big part of why we were planted. Our vision is to do whatever it takes to bring the wayward home. That's what we want to do. But we know the statistics. We know that for the most part, 85% of Sydneysiders just won't set foot in a church. And so if our strategy is do mission on Sundays and that's it, we're going to miss a significant part of our population. And so our vision is to help disciple everyday missionaries, people who would be on mission in the everyday stuff of life. We also know from last year's NCLS data that only 27% of you feel comfortable sharing your faith. That leaves a large percentage of you who don't feel comfortable. What do you say? How can we help you feel comfortable doing that? You add to that, we often don't know what to say. We find it hard to figure out how to answer people's questions. We're afraid of getting it wrong. And so we need a really simple method of helping you share your faith with your friends. And so what we've developed is something called 5 for 5. And I want to walk through those 5 steps with you now. The 5 steps are this. Firstly, number 1, pray for your friends every day. Secondly, contact them once a week. Third, bless them once a month. Fourth, invite them to your celebrations, gatherings, and events. And fifth, share your faith as opportunity arises. So firstly, number 1 is pray for them every day. This is the most important step because without this, 5 for 5 is simply a sales pitch. It's simply a method. We want God to open people's hearts. We want people to move from death to life, and that only happens as God works. So prayer is the most important foundational thing to this. You'd be surprised what happens when you start to pray intentionally for opportunities for your friends, the things that God will do with those prayers. He loves to answer our prayers. He loves to call the lost home, and we believe in a God who can radically change people's lives. So step number 1, pray for them every day. The second step there is to contact them once a week. You know, those amazing conversations and really natural invitations don't happen where there's no connection with people, where there's no connection with someone who doesn't know Jesus. And so being in regular contact is simply just being a good friend. Really, that's all that step is about. Being a good friend, contacting your friends, be that a phone call, a face-to-face catch-up, a text message, whatever it is, but you're in their lives regularly enough that they would consider you a friend. So pray for them every day, contact them once a week, and thirdly, bless them once a month. You know, the best relationships we have, the most enriching ones we have, are relationships that bless. And blessing isn't simply just material blessings, like giving people gifts, so that's a great idea. It could be other forms of blessing, like giving someone a word of encouragement, sending them an encouraging text message, telling your friend that you're praying for them and actually doing it. We want relationships that are life-giving, not just relationships that you take from. And so step number 3, bless your friend once a month, is a really simple way of taking your relationship to a deeper level. So pray for them every day, contact them once a week, bless them once a month, and then fourthly, invite. Invite them to your gatherings, celebrations, and events. And this is actually something that you guys have been really good at. The NCLS data showed that 64% of you have invited a friend to church in the last 12 months. That's astounding, and that suggests that you have great confidence in our Sunday gatherings. But it's more than just an invitation to Sunday. It's an invitation to GC dinner parties that are going to be happening this year. It's an invitation to a barbecue. It's overlapping your circle of friends with your church friends, with your gospel community, and inviting them into that. It's thinking really intentionally about your daughter's 4th birthday party, asking your gospel community to be a part of that so that they will see the church in action. So invite them to your celebrations, gatherings, and events. And step number 5 is to share your faith as opportunity arises. My guess is that as you do those things intentionally, conversations will happen, people will begin to ask questions, and you will have an opportunity to share your faith. But it doesn't have to be a reactive thing. You could even ask someone really boldly if you could share your story, or if they would like to read the Bible with you. This is one area we would love to offer you more training, because this is the big scary moment where you take a step of faith and put yourself out there, or share your story, or ask someone to read the Bible. But this is the point, Anchor, if I'm honest with you, that we need to do the most work. We've been good at relationships, we've been good at inviting, but we haven't been great at actually communicating the life-changing news of Jesus. So that's 5 for 5. Pray for them every day, contact them once a week, bless them once a month, invite them to your celebrations, gatherings, and events, and share your faith as opportunity arises. Now, let me just say this. I recognize that for some of you, you think 5 people, that is way, way too many people. It doesn't have to be 5. It may be 1, it may be 2, it may be 3, whatever it is, whatever works for you. The idea is to be consistent and intentional as you try and share your faith with your friends. So pick 1, pick 2, pick 5, whatever works. And additionally, it doesn't have to be limited to 5. Leave room for a spirit-led, God-appointed, holy encounter with someone who's not on your 5, and be open to that. Finally, let me just share a story with you of the Burwood GC, who in 2018 were using 5 for 5 as one of the rhythms of their GC. Last year at our Gospel Community Leaders Celebration Dinner, the leaders of the Burwood GC shared with us that every single person in their GC had at least one significant moment, opportunity, or event with one of their 5 last year, including people being invited to GC, being invited to dinner parties, being invited to pub nights, prayers being answered, and we think even people taking steps towards faith. So whilst this isn't a silver bullet solution, we've got the track record, we've got the runs on the board, we have seen many people, particularly in the first year of Anchor, come to faith through this. They may not even be a part of our church now, but God is using this to work. So I want to encourage you, take a bold step of faith, commit to doing 5 for 5, and see what God does through your faithfulness. We love you, Anchor. We hope this blesses you. Let's get on it. 5 for 5.